Hi, friends. So we are starting Expedition Down Under. It's a Magic School Bus book, and I'm super excited. So first it's called the Magic School Bus chapter book, Expedition Down Under. And the first thing is an introduction. My name is Dorothy Ann, D.A. for short. I am one of the kids in Miss Frizzle's class. Maybe you've heard of Miss Frizzle. Sometimes we call her the Frizz. She is a terrific teacher, but strange. One of her favorite subjects is science, and she knows everything about it. She takes us on lots of field trips in the Magic School Bus. Believe me, it's not called magic for nothing. We never know what's going to happen when we get on that bus. Miss Frizzle likes to surprise us. Here's Dorothy Ann, D.A. Miss Frizzle likes to surprise us, but we can usually tell when she's planning a special lesson. We just look at what she's wearing. One day, she came into class looking like she was going on a safari or something. She had on sturdy boots, a khaki jacket, and pants with little kangaroos and other animals printed all over them, and a big hat. I knew we were in for a great time. So here's what Mrs. Frizzle was wearing. Chapter 1. Let's start this off. I love the end of January. We won't have any big holidays for a while, Arnold said, looking at our big wall calendar. He was right. We were in the last week of January, and the calendar was completely blank. Why is that good? I asked. We always have really great trips around the holidays. Exactly, said Arnold. I'm looking forward to some nice, normal days in the classroom. Just then, Miss Frizzle came hopping in the door. Good morning, class, she sang out. Happy Australia Day! Oh, no, Arnold groaned when he saw her special outfit. I shouldn't have said anything. What are you smiling about, D.A.? Phoebe asked. I was glad she had asked. I held up a copy of an Australia field guide. I've just been reading about all the interesting wildlife in Australia, I told the class. I was in charge of our class project on wildlife for our school's annual science fair. I love science. I keep my science notebooks and the medal I won at last year's science fair with me all the time. Australia has some of the most unusual wildlife anywhere, I told the class. That's righto, mate, Miss Frizzle said. Can you tell the class why that is? And then here it says, so there's going to be a lot of these parts. It says Aussie Dictionary. So righto or rightio, and that means all right or okay. Because Australia is completely separated from any other land, so species there develop differently than in the rest of the world, I said proudly. That means Australia is a very different place, said the Frizz. Now I'm going to read Dorothy Ann's report. Australia, A Country Apart by D.A. Australia has many kinds of animals that don't live on other continents. Once there was a bridge of land that connected Australia with Asia. It disappeared about 30 million years ago. From then on, Australia's animal life didn't mix with the rest of the world. Australia is the only country that's its own continent. Who has heard of a dingo, wallaby, or wombat? Miss Frizzle asked. I was the only one who had raised my hand. I've heard of a wallaby, I said. It's a small kangaroo. How about a numbat, a kydna, or a kookaburra? I'd never heard of a kookaburra, Phoebe said excitedly, but I don't know what it is. Oh, she said, I have heard of a kookaburra, Phoebe said, but I don't know what it is. I've heard of a kookaburra too, said Arnold. What is it? I had to admit I didn't know. I opened the Australia field guide and looked and turned the pages, but I couldn't find a listing for kookaburra. I think I've heard of it too, said Ralphie, while I was hunting through the field guide. Isn't there a song about the kookaburra? That's right, Ralphie, said the Frizz. Let's sing the kookaburra song to start our Australia Day celebration. What is Australia Day anyway? Asked Tim. Phoebe looked at me and I shrugged my shoulders. Australia Day marks the arrival of the first settlers in Australia. Australians always celebrate Australia Day on January 26th, and that's today. All right, class, let's sing the Kookaburra song, said the Frizz. Kookaburra sits in the old gum tree, Merry, merry king of the bushes he. Laugh, Kookaburra, laugh, Kookaburra. How wonderful your life must be. We practiced the song together until we all knew it, and then we split up into groups and sang in rounds. Phoebe loves to sing, and she looked really happy. Arnold looked pretty gloomy. I know he doesn't like to sing, and the Frizz's safari outfit had him worried. What is a kookaburra anyway, Mrs. Frizzle? It sounds like some kind of crazy bear. Miss Frizzle took a tape recorder out of her safari bag. Here is a tape of a kookaburra laughing, said the Frizz. She pushed a button on the recorder, and suddenly the room was filled with an eerie, crazy laughing sound. It must be an Australian monster, said Arnold. Or a giant laughing lizard, said Ralphie. Liz looked a little insulted. It sounds like a ghost, said Keisha. Maybe it's just a funny person who likes to eat berries, said Phoebe, looking at me. Are you sure it's real, Miss Frizzle? I asked. I can't find an entry for kookaburra in my Australia field guide. May I see your book for a moment, Dorothy Ann? Miss Frizzle asked. She peered down at the book with me. I think you're missing a page, she said. I looked closer. She was right. A page had fallen out of my book. I shrugged my shoulders again. That made two mysteries. What was a kookaburra? And where had the missing page gone? Wanda thought of another one. What is a gum tree? Asked Wanda. Is it sticky? Just one of the many unusual and wonderful things in the land down under, Miss Frizzle said. Down under? Asked Arnold. As in underground? So here's the whole class. Here's the whole gang gathered round Miss Frizzle. This is Ralphie. This is Dorothy Ann, the narrator. There's Arnold, who's always worried. And Miss Frizzle. Aussie Dictionary. Down under means in Australia. The Frizz lifted up the class globe, spun it to the United States, disappeared over the top, and pointed to a big island at the bottom of the globe. That is Australia, and people who don't live there call it down under. It is in the southern hemisphere, the half of the earth that's south of the equator. Arnold looked happy. Oh, that's really far. Much too far for a field trip, he said under his breath. So, we are up here in the northern hemisphere, and there's Australia down there. But we're actually way over here. There's Australia. Oh, it is very far, said the Frizz, but it's not too far to go to learn something new. Let's track down the kookaburra and find out what it is. Class, to the bus. Miss Frizzle hopped out of the room, humming the kookaburra song. She threw my Australia field guide and my Aussie dictionary into my bag and followed. You never know what you'll need on one of Miss Frizzle's trips. Maybe we'd need the dictionary to talk to the kookaburra. I can't wait to learn more about the land down under. Aussie dictionary. This says Aussie, which means Australia or an Australian person from Australia. And that's the end of chapter 1. And when we get back, we will do chapter 2.